Hi, my name's Cass. Welcome to the AutoParent podcast with my mom.
Hello, and welcome to the AutoParent podcast, episode 36, which we're just going to call COVID Sucks. Thanks for joining me today, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed last week's episodes. Surprise, there were two. Enneagram Ashton, which if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to Enneagram Ashton, go back and do it. And also, if you're in need of a good laugh, please listen to episode 35, Best Friends with Jackie, because it was hilarious and amazing in all kinds of ways. Let's just get to it for this episode. Parenting fail right up top. On Friday of last week, my 3-year-old, I could tell he wasn't feeling good, and he just started vomiting all over the place. And I was like, oh, interesting. But sometimes he vomits, you know? So I'm just like, well, like he's always been this way, where if he drinks too much milk or if he drinks too much water, like he just will vomit sometimes, and it's never an indication of anything. So I didn't think about it. And cut to today, I get home from work. Well, back up. This morning, he wakes up, he comes into my room. He is very weepy and sad. And I could just tell, you know how that intuition, you can just tell. I was like, oh no. But he seemed better. After he had his little fit this morning, he started to get a little bit better, and he was playing and he was active. And so I was like, okay. So I left him with the nanny today. Took the older one to school, left the younger one with the nanny. I come home this afternoon, and he is those eyes, those really sad eyes where you could just literally tell that they feel horrible. He had those puppy dog eyes. He was snotty all over the place, and he had a fever, y'all. I took the temperature, and he had 102 fever. So we took him to urgent care today, and they decided to test him for strep and COVID. The strep test was negative. We have to wait 48 hours for the COVID test. And I just want you to know, it's terrifying. I have so many questions, and I have so much guilt. Did we overexpose him? Have we exposed anyone else? Has he worn his mask as much as he possibly could? Or were there times where, he yanked it off because he needed to do something? Or I have all of these ruminating thoughts about whether or not we have done the best thing that we can do. And he also, is active and happy and he has these moments of where he's a bit lethargic, but mostly he's running around and happy. And so I'm like, well, maybe it's just the cold. But y'all, if any of you have dealt with this, or if you have experienced worrying about your children, especially if they have symptoms of COVID, I just want you to know you're not alone. Episode 36 is about you and me and all of us knowing that we are in this together, and that this virus is horrible, and we're all doing the best we can. And so no matter what choices you've made, I want you to know that those choices that you've made are the right ones for you. And I want you to feel comfortable and confident in that. I want you to know that you have a community that supports you and loves you. And I know I kind of need that right now. I need to sort of silence the voice in the back of my head that's saying, you didn't do enough. You made the wrong choices. You didn't do the right thing. Which, when it comes to something as serious as the coronavirus, it feels daunting and scary. And this podcast is not a place where I come and turn off the vulnerability switch. This podcast is a place where I come and sort of lay it all bare. So here we are. And I feel like I have failed royally as a parent. This isn't one of those cute parenting fails where we get to laugh and, move on. It feels deep. And it's making me question everything. And I just want you all to know that if you've experienced this, you're not alone. And this whole thing is for solidarity and hope. That's what the whole thing is for. And so there's some solidarity. Now, maybe we can talk a little bit about hope. My hope is that we continue to fiercely protect the most vulnerable ones. And those are, kids and the unvaccinated. I know it is so hard, and we have wanted to just come back to everything full force. And, it's weighing like the mental, sort of the consequences mentally and emotionally and spiritually of kids not being in school and of, not being able to go out to eat with friends or to hang out with friends or even be gathered back in the church building. And all of those things are valid, right? And, after doing this for a year and a half, who's tired? Yeah, I'm tired. We're all tired. But my hope is that we fiercely, fiercely, fiercely protect our young ones and our unvaccinated ones as best we can. I have another hope that, and I do this thing where I like to take a moment that doesn't feel so great and sort of tie a string around it, and then hold that string until the moment in the future that we're looking forward to comes. So this is a tool of hope. I don't know if you do this, but it kind of helps me out a lot, especially if I'm in a moment of despair, which is what this feels like. I like to think about the moment in the future where either this memory feels small or whatever this is resolved. And so I have hope as I'm holding the string that's tied to this moment, that this string leads to health and health. Health in all kinds of ways, right? So that's also hope that I hold on to. And I know that this virus has taken so many things from us. It has taken loved ones. It has taken time and energy, and it's taken for some of us, the stuff that sustains us, it's taken that away from us. And it's just been such a hard thing. And I think for so long, y'all, I have just had my head down, and I've been thinking about this with an attitude of this is just how we're doing this thing now. Which is something that a friend that did the podcast recently it's going to release soon, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But it's something that she said that I thought, oh my goodness, that's exactly how I've been approaching things. This is just how we're doing things now. So the struggle of just doing the next thing that's put in front of you, sometimes it's good, right? Just do the next right thing. Just keep your head down. Just keep doing whatever is in front of you. But sometimes I forget to check in with myself. So if that's kind of the way that you approach this or have approached this, and it's been a while since you did a check-in, do a check-in. Do it right now if you want. But take a moment and check in with yourself. Because sometimes, it's the literal name of the podcast. I'm blowing my own mind right now. The AutoParent podcast. Sometimes I put myself on AutoParent, and we just do the thing. We make the lunch, we make the dinner, we, whatever. We get the kids to soccer practice, or we get them to school, or we quarantine with them because we need to, or, whatever. Just doing the next right thing, putting ourselves on AutoParent. But y'all, sometimes we just need to check in with ourselves and give ourselves an opportunity to just see how we're feeling, and see what kind of hope we need and see where we can find it. So that is something that I hope we can do this week, is try to reconnect to hope, try to reconnect with ourselves, and ultimately tell guilt and shame to just kick rocks. That is what we do. We tell guilt and shame to kick rocks. And I'm not just saying that to you, I'm saying it to myself because it feels really important to me. And so as I sit here at almost 10 p.m. after having a very long day and after taking my child to urgent care and sitting with all of these thoughts, I just want to say to you and to me that we are not alone, that we are not on this journey alone, that we are loved and supported and cared for by a God who knows our name, and that we have a wonderful and amazing community called Foundry that may be spread out all over the place at the moment. But my hope is that we continually feel drawn back in to the place called Foundry. And I want you to know explicitly, no matter who you are, no matter where you've come from, no matter where you are listening to this podcast, that if you need to talk to someone, I am here. And so you can reach out to me via email at parents@foundryumc.org. parents@foundryumc.org. And I'd be happy to talk with you or pray with you or whatever. Thanks for listening to this. I hope it doesn't feel all over the place. This is what I got this week, y'all. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I love you. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the AutoParent podcast. We're going to leave you with a parent mantra, something you can say to yourself or to your partner just to know that you're not alone. Your mantra for this week is, I don't have to be an AutoParent to be a good one. I don't have to be an AutoParent to be a good one. Because friends, if we don't believe that, it's going to be really hard to convince our kids. I've been your host, Pastor KC. You can follow me on Twitter at RevKCVC. Join us next week, same time, same place. You can find out more information about Foundry United Methodist Church by visiting our website, www.foundryumc.org. If you're specifically looking for information about our Family Ministries department or our offerings for parents, you can find those at www.foundryumc.org/family ministries.